Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series of medium difficulty data questions solved in both SQL and Pandas. Today's challenge is to do market analysis. We have three tables: users, orders, with not only order ID but also with the buyer ID and the seller ID. Both buyer ID and seller ID are found in the users table, and the third table is the items. We need to write a solution to find for each user the join date and the number of orders they made as a buyer in 2019. From this requirement, we already know that we're gonna join users table together with the orders table on user ID and the buyer ID because we're looking for the buyers. We're going to filter for 2019 years only. In SQL, we write a select statement. We join the users table with left join orders table on user ID and buyer ID. Second requirement is we filter for order date to 2019. We need to find the number of orders they made in 2019. So we have to count. This is already an aggregation function, therefore we need a group by clause. We group by user ID and join date because we need to include our join date into the select statement. Our user ID will become a buyer, therefore we select it as a buyer, and we will use the count function to count all order IDs from order table, and this will be our orders in 2019 column. Let's run the query. And we successfully solved this problem in SQL. Now let's move on to Pandas. In Pandas, we first filter the orders data frame for the year 2019. So we take the data frame orders and the order date should be equal to 2019. This will be our new dataset called orders 2019. Now we need to count orders per buyer for 2019. We take the filtered dataset orders 2019 and we group by buyer ID. Instead of count function in SQL, here in Pandas we use the function size. Orders in 2019 will be our new created column with the numbers of orders. And this we will save into a new dataset called order count. Now we need to merge two datasets, users and order count. We use the function merge. On the left side, we take the users. On the right side, we have order count. And we join these two data frames on the left side on user ID and on the right side buyer ID. This is the same what we did in SQL with the on clause. And now we need to specify which type of merge we are using. We need the left join. And this will be our result. Now we need to fill the empty values with 0 for users with no orders in 2019. We take our result data frame and in the column orders in 2019, we fill empty spaces with 0. We need to rename our user ID into buyer ID, but we already have a column called buyer ID from the orders table. To avoid an error or a collision, we need to delete the buyer ID column first and then rename the user ID into buyer ID. Access 1 means that we want to delete column. 0 would indicate the row. And the last step, we select and rename columns for the final output. Column user ID becomes buyer ID. And we are ready to return the result. We need 3 columns: buyer ID, join date and orders in 2019. I see an error here, don't forget to put the dot, and let's run the code. And we successfully solved this problem in Python Pandas. Which syntax did you prefer for this specific problem? Left join and group by in SQL, or group by and merging in Python Pandas? Let me know in the comments.